So from Operation New Broom revealing government's latest crackdown to diamonds in a billion-dollar battle with lab-grown rivals. Not to mention South Africa buying into Africa's biggest trade finance bank. Today's show is all about security, identity, and the tools we use to protect both. And for the wildcard, we're heading to a giant scar in the earth where the story behind it is almost as dramatic as the site itself. And also, just a quick reminder, Daily Bagel now drops at 6 p.m. So whether you're winding down after your day or catching us with your morning coffee, the show will be ready for you. And if this is your kind of news, hit like and subscribe and help us take it further. And now with all that out the way, let's get into it. So Operation New Broom may sound like something out of a Spy Kids novel, but it's very real and it's using high-tech raids to track down, arrest, and deport undocumented migrants across South Africa. So launched earlier this year, it's built around biometric verification. So we're talking fingerprint and facial scans that run on site during these raids to spot forged papers, confirm immigration status, and fast-track court cases for deportation. So the idea here is to replace these old paper-based checks with these instant tamper-proof results, part of Home Affairs' larger digital overhaul. Now, it's a multi-agency push with SAPS, the Border Management Authority, and others targeting these urban hotspots where these undocumented migrants tend to live or work. So just this past week, the operation hit Limpopo, where a raid at a local mall found dozens of businesses employing undocumented foreigners, leading to 73 arrests and pending deportations. Now, the Home Affairs Minister, Leon Schreiber, says that the message is clear. Self-deport now or face arrest and a future ban from entering South Africa. Now, the rights groups, meanwhile, argue that these tactics risks crossing from law enforcement into human rights violations. Lab-grown diamonds are no longer the cheap knockoffs they used to be. They are now cleaner, cheaper, and winning over younger buyers. And now, South Africa has decided it's time to fight back. So this past week, Cabinet has signed off on joining a global marketing blitz for natural diamonds, which is this rare alliance between rival producers like Botswana, Angola, and De Beers. Now, the plan here is that every participating company will hand over 1% of its annual rough diamond revenue to a shared war chest. And for South Africa, that's about 130 million rand a year. So this money will be used to fund an international push to remind buyers why real still matters, from billion-year-old origins to the jobs they sustain in mining towns. Because as our mining minister has put it rather bluntly, lab-grown diamonds are eating into our dinner. Because you see, the stakes are high. South Africa is still the world's 6th largest producer, but sales fell 21% just last year. But if this marketing campaign works, it could help stabilize prices, revive demand, and keep thousands of jobs from vanishing. But if it doesn't, the sparkle might just shift permanently to the lab. As for you though, what's your take? If you were having to buy a wedding ring today, would you be going natural or lab grown, and why? South Africa is a step away from becoming a full sovereign member of the African Export-Import Bank, or simply African Bank, which is this $35 billion trade finance giant that helps to fund deals between African countries and beyond. Now, Cabinet's sign-off here means that South Africa will take a Class A shareholding, essentially giving it more sway over the bank's strategy, structure, and leadership picks. So why are we doing this now? Well, it's no secret that these tariff tensions are heating up between Pretoria and Washington, and as a result, South Africa is scrambling to diversify its export markets and tap into new trade finance tools. Now, this African Bank membership could help bankroll big projects, open new buyer markets, and give local exporters a safety net in tougher global conditions. So this is also a little bit of history coming full circle. You see, apartheid kept South Africa out of this bank when it was founded in 1993. It then went on to buy a small stake in 2017, but never formally joined until now. And look, the timing is no accident. This move is as much about politics as it is about trade. And before we cruise on to our Bagel Bite section, here are a few other headlines worth knowing. So South Africans who shop on Shein are celebrating a big change. You see, import fees now show up in your cart before checkout, ending surprise custom charges and giving shoppers full clarity on what they actually pay. SARS has extended its special licenses for importing and storing jet fuel until October next year, which is a critical move to keep airports running smoothly while South Africa leans heavily on imported refined fuel. And Home Affairs has expanded its trusted tour operator scheme to 110 approved operators, cutting group visas for tourists from India and China to about 24 hours, already reportedly adding 25,000 visitors and nearly 2,000 new jobs. And on to our Bagel Bite of the day, first one of the week. Let's see what you got. The question is, how many countries share a border with South Africa? Is it A, 4, B, 5, or C, 6? Bonus points if you can name all of them. And on to our wildcard section. 220,000 years ago, something hit Gauteng hard enough to still leave a scar you can walk into today. You see, the Tswaing meteorite crater is a near perfect circle in the bushveld, a kilometer across and nearly 100 meters deep, with a shimmering lake at its center. Now, scientists say that a meteorite roughly 15 meters wide tore through the atmosphere and detonated on impact, reportedly packing the punch of hundreds of atomic bombs. So for centuries, locals harvested its salt. You see, Tswaing means place of salt in Tswaing, while Stone-Age communities left behind tools you can still find in the area. So the cool part here is that visitors can hike the 7-kilometer trail around the rim and down to the water's edge, spotting birdlife and bushveld along the way. It's one of only a handful of confirmed meteorite impact sites on Earth that you can actually walk into, and it's right here in Gauteng. And as for that Bagel Bite, the answer is 6. We have Zimbabwe, Mozambique, Namibia, Botswana, Lesotho, and Eswatini, formerly known as Swaziland. And yes, I know Lesotho is technically an enclave, so if you left it out for that reason, fair enough, but we're still counting it here. And my friends, that's it for today's show. Thanks so much for tuning in. Hope you guys all have a cracker start to the week. Be kind to one another, and I'll see you all tomorrow for round 2. Cheers.